Hello guys, welcome back to another video of Industrialist. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to build a mid-tier power source using gas burners to make steam. Let's get into it. We will need some raw gas to start with, and we'll get that from natural gas wells. And each of them creates 30 raw gas a second. And each condenser, which makes water-free gas from the raw gas, uses 60 gas a second. So for every condenser we're using, we'll be using 2 of the natural gas wells. The condenser makes water-free gas, and we can use the water-free gas in a gas refinery to make refined gas, which is the thing we'll need. And a gas refinery needs 90 or uses 90 water-free gas a second. So that means that we'll we'll be using 3 condensers just to match the output of the need of the gas refinery. So we'll need 3 condensers and 6 natural gas wells. So we're gonna start by placing our natural gas wells. As I said, we're gonna need 6 of these. And then we need 3 condensers. So 1 for every 2 natural gas wells. Now we just need to connect the gas well to the condensers. Just like that, and we'll do that with the others too. Make sure that the arrows is in the right direction. Just like that. The condensers outputs crude oil and water, and then the water-free gas, and the water and crude oil is not going to be used in this build. So what I'm gonna do, you don't have to do this, but I'm just gonna trash the water, like dump it into the ground, and that doesn't cause any pollution to the world, so that's nice. And that's why we don't want to dump the crude oil into the ground. That causes a lot of pollution. So I'm just gonna store the crude oil in a storage, and I'm using a gold storage. Now we just have the water-free gas outputs from each of the condensers, and we are gonna use that water-free gas, as I said, in a gas refinery. So I'm gonna place a gas refinery and then connect the condensers to the factory. Just gonna place it right here, and then connect it just like that. The gas refinery makes 60 refined gas a second, and then it also makes some residue. I'm just gonna store the residue, but the refined gas is used in a gas burner. That's what we're gonna use it for. And as you can see, each gas burner uses 30 refined gas every second. So that means we're gonna use 2 gas burners to max out the efficiency of this factory. So I'm gonna place some gas burners. Just gonna see the residues output there, and there's the refined gas. Just gonna place the gas burners like that, I think. Oh wait, let me place them right here. And the gas burners, what they're doing, they are using the refined gas, like burning it. That's why they're named gas burners, to heat up water. And the water gets very hot, like around 400 degrees, which is good for the boiler, which I'm gonna place on later on. The higher the temperature of the water, the more steam the boiler produces, which is good. And each of the gas burners uses 30 water, and the what's it called? The water pumps. I'm using water pump 2, and I'll recommend you to use that too. The water pump level 1 is pretty trash, so I'm using water pump level 2, and each of the water pump makes 6 water a second, and one of the gas burners needs 30 water a second, so that means we're gonna use 5 water pumps for each gas burner. So I'm gonna place water pumps like this. Just 5 on each side, just to make it look symmetrical. And then we're gonna connect the water pumps to the gas burners. Alright guys, I've connected the gas refinery and water pumps to the gas burners. As you can see here, each of the gas burners has 5 water pumps, and they are the level 2 water pumps, as I said. And the gas refinery produces residue. I'm just gonna store that in a cold storage. And I've given all the other machines some power, which means that the gas burners are producing hot water. As you can see, they're producing water that are 400 degrees, and I'm not so sure how that is possible, because I'm pretty sure that water only can be like at the temperature of 100 degrees before it turns into steam. But I guess Industrialist is just out of this world. So yeah. Alright guys, the next step is to make some steam. We're gonna use boilers for that. And as you can see, each boiler needs 3 plus 3 water, which is of course 6 in total. So it uses 6 water a second to make 3 water and 90 steam a second. So in practice, if we connect the output of the 3 water into the input of the boiler again, it only needs 3 water a second. And when each of the gas burners makes 30 water a second, which is 60 in total, and that means that we can place down 20 boilers. Now before you place any boilers, here comes the tricky part. You're gonna place some large turbines before placing the boilers, and you're gonna need a turbine for every boiler. So as I said, we're gonna use 20 boilers, then we're also gonna need 20 large turbines. Now I'm gonna start by placing just one turbine and connecting it to a boiler, just so you can see the idea, or get the idea of how to do it. So I'm gonna start by placing a turbine here, just next to the output of the gas burner, so you can see it's in line. You don't have to do this, of course, but that's just how I like it. Now, before you place a boiler, you're gonna place a liquid dump, just like this, and then connect it to the large turbine. Because the large turbines it outputs some water after using the steam. So we're just gonna trash that. We're not gonna reuse it because it's so little that it doesn't even makes sense to reuse it. But now that you've placed your liquid dump, you're gonna need to place these boilers. And as I said, I'm just gonna place one. Now, instead of placing it right next to the large turbine, we're gonna place it like this. So the yellow inputs on the left matches. Like, it's hard to say or explain, but you can see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna place it here, and that's why we place the turbine and the liquid dump first, because you cannot place the liquid dump after you place the boiler. So when you have done that, the boiler just needs 2 inputs of water. One of them has to be hot water. We're just gonna use hot water for both, and then it outputs water here, and then it outputs steam here. Now this is a bit tricky, but if you click on the steam output and then you place or click on the turbine, now I'm clicking on the turbine down here on the stone, not on the turbine itself. I'm gonna place it. I'll click here, and as you can see, it connected to the turbine even though we didn't connect it with a pipe. And the boiler, just the boiler's other output, which is of used water, we're gonna click on that and then click on the input of the boiler here. So as I explained before, the boiler uses 6 water and then spits out 3 water. So we're just gonna reuse that water that it spits out to create or convert to steam again, if that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. If you have any questions, leave them down below, because it's hard to explain for me here in this video, but yeah. Now we just need a input for the hot water. So I'm just gonna place some pipes, and I'm not using these pipes with 4 outputs, and there's a reason for that. Because we only need to connect it to this input here. So I'm gonna do this, and then instead of using normal pipes, I would recommend you to use a valve control. And again, it's a bit tricky to understand, but once you get it, it's not difficult to repeat the process. But as you can see, I've placed the valve control here, and it's connected with the other pipes. Then what it does is that it gives some water, or outputs some water to the left, as you can see here, and then it also outputs water here, but it doesn't do that now, and that's because that it says 100% here, and that means that for any amount of water that comes into the valve connect or valve pipe, it will always use the left or right output instead of the output here. And how many percent equals to the amount of percent that it splits out to the left or right. And if we are gonna use or have 5 boilers on each row, then to start with, you're gonna open the valve control, and then you're gonna type 20 and then just hit confirm. Now for any water that comes into the valve connect, our valve control, 20% of that is going to the left as into the boiler, and 80% of it is gonna go in this pipe, and that's over here where I'm gonna build some more boilers and turbines in a minute. But I hope you understand this valve control pipe, and if you don't, again, leave a question down in the comments and I'll be more than happy to answer it. So yeah, but now that we have the things connected, you can see that even though it gets hot water and it gets water here, it doesn't create any steam. And that's because the boiler itself is not 100 degrees, which it needs at least to be to create steam. So to fix that, you can see that the water output here doesn't have, there's not enough space for it to run, go, and that's why it doesn't get heated up. So what you're gonna start by doing to start this process is connect this output to this exact pipe, just like that. And now if we place some more pipes, let's just say we're gonna place pipes like this, you can see that this water here, wait, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, say that, to make the, I'm just gonna, wait, hold on, to make the valve control spit out water this way, you're just gonna have to click this bypass flow if it cannot distribute. So if the boiler is full, then the valve control automatically spits out the water here, and this has to be on. So yeah, but now you can see that it creates, or it spits in water here, and while also giving water to the other boilers. And then let's see here, I just need some more water. Oops. Like that. Now the boiler's temperature, as you can see, is rising, and now 100 degrees. Now it should start creating steam, and yeah, it does. And I can see that because the turbine is giving out water. Not giving out, but yeah, you know what I understand. But now you've started the process here, so what you can do now is just take or have this unconnected to the pipe, and now it should run automatically. It means that the water that the boiler has used is just being used again, and then we are just giving it some more water, so it needs to make steam. So yeah, I hope you understand this process. It's a bit tricky to explain, but now you know like the idea of how to do it. Now you're just gonna repeat the process by 19 times, or yeah, 19 more times, because yeah, we need 20 boiler and turbines in total. So yeah, I'm just gonna place one row, but before I start building the other 4 pair of boiler and turbine, I'm just gonna show you how to do it quickly. You're gonna start by placing some turbines here, like that, and then you're gonna place, as you can see, there are tiles in the ground. You're gonna place the next turbine 3.5 tiles away from the turbine you just placed, and that's there. Then there's here, and then like that. And we're doing that because now the boiler is, there's just enough space for the boiler to be there, and this is just an easier or quicker process. And now you need to remember, before you place the boilers, as I said, you need to place the liquid dumps first, like so. I'm gonna do that, like that, and you know what? I'm not gonna do it off camera. I'm just gonna show you real quick how to do it. now place some boilers here, like that, just like so. Now I'm gonna connect the steam output to the turbine and the water output here to the other part of the boiler, like so. Just like that. And now I'm gonna connect it with pipes. I'm using these valve pipes, and there's an important thing that I didn't mention. I'm gonna show that to you guys now. Yeah, I'm just gonna use a normal pipe down here, and that's because you don't need a valve control on the last one, and I can show you why. So as I said, we're with the 20% here, we're gonna use 20% for this boiler of the water that's here, and 20% is equals to 1/5 or 1/5. So that's why we're using 20%, because there's one out of 5 boilers. Then the next valve control is not gonna be on 20%, it's gonna be on 25%, because it's 1 out of 4 boilers. Then the next one is gonna be 33.33%. You can just type 33, doesn't really matter, it's not that important, but you get the idea. Then the last one is gonna be 50%, because it's 1 out of 2. And then the last one, the last one doesn't need a valve control, because if there was a valve control, then it would just be set to 100%, and yeah, then you can just place a normal pipe. So yeah, now I'm gonna connect the pipes here, like so. Just like that, and now it should start getting, wait, why isn't it, oh yeah, it gets water, yeah, that's just because it fills up the, yeah, so water is coming here, and now you just need to, as you did with the first one, to start the boiler and turbine thing, you're just gonna connect the water output, the water output to the pipes like that. Just do this. You can just do it like that, and I'm just gonna dump it into the ground just for now. This is temporarily, guys. It's really important that you know that this dump is temporarily here. So now I'm gonna do this so it isn't connected to the pipes anymore, so it's just running in a circle. And then I don't need the dump because it doesn't matter if the water just builds up here. But now all the turbines are running and boilers too, so let's place down some of these to connect it to a battery. But before we do that, we're gonna connect it to a power rate calculator, like that, like so. Do that here, and just like that. The turbines should be, yeah, they are producing energy. Why aren't they getting any water? It should run just fine, right? Why isn't it running just fine? Oh, yeah, that's because, yeah, oops. Yeah, that's why I said it's temporarily here. Uh, because it's nighttime and then it doesn't produce. Yeah, okay, wait, hold on. I just need to do this. Like so. Now it should run just fine when I connect it like so. And need to give the water pump some power too. Just like so. Now it should start making water again. And yeah. Yeah, nice, it does. And it creates... Yeah, it makes power. And then let's just see how much power we are making. So yeah, just out of 5 turbines and boilers, we are making 2.5 million MF, which equals to 2.5 MMF. Just out of 5 boiler and turbines, and you can place 20 in total. So we're gonna times this by this power output by 4, and that equals 10 million MF, which equals to 10 MMF. So yeah, this is how you build the factory. I hope it wasn't too complicated. Now you just have the idea. I hope you got the idea of how you build these boiler and turbines. You're just gonna place a row more for each of the water or gas burners. The gas burners can give water for 10 turbines or boilers each, so you don't have to connect the water pumps or the gas burners to the whole thing. Just split it in half, like 2 rows or 10 pairs for each gas burner. Yeah. I hope, as I said, I hope this wasn't too complicated. I'm a bit tired, so that's why I'm finding it hard to explain to you guys. But yeah, I hope you got it. So I'll see you next time.